Shabbat Shalom. Our scripture reading for today is Isaiah chapter 35, verses 1, 2, 7, and 10. The wilderness and the solitary place shall be glad for them, and the desert shall rejoice and blossom as the rose. It shall blossom abundantly and rejoice even with joy and singing. The glory of Lebanon shall be given unto it, the excellency of Carmel and Sharon. They shall see the glory of Yahweh, and the excellency of our Elohim. And the parched ground shall become a pool, and the thirsty land springs of water. In the habitation of dragons, where each lay, shall be grass with reeds and rushes. And the ransomed of Yahweh shall return and come to Zion with songs and everlasting joy upon their heads. They shall obtain joy and gladness, and sorrow and sighing shall flee away.
Shabbat Shalom, family. Our selection today, Come Out the Wilderness.
Ooh. The oracles of the UCI, 1 Peter chapter 4, verses 7 through 11. But the end of all things is at hand. Be you therefore sober and watch unto prayer. And above all things have fervent love among yourselves, for love shall cover the multitude of sins. Use hospitality one to another without grudging. As every man has received the gift, even so minister the same one to another as good stewards of the manifold grace of Elohim. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of Elohim. If any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which Elohim gives, that Elohim in all things may be glorified through Yahshua the Mashiach, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. Amen. Ephesians chapter 4, verses 29 through chapter 5 and verse 4. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. And grieve not the Holy Spirit of Elohim, whereby you're sealed until the day of redemption. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. And be you kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as Elohim for Yahshua's sake has forgiven you. Be you therefore followers of Elohim, as their children, and walk in love, as the Mashiach also have loved us, and has given himself for us an offering and sacrifice to Elohim for a sweet-smelling savor. But fornication, and all uncleanness, or covetousness, let it not be once named among you as becomes saints. Neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather given of thanks. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verses 1 and 2. Keep your foot when you go to the house of Elohim, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. Be not rash with your mouth, and let not your heart be hasty to utter anything before Elohim. For Elohim is in heaven, and you upon earth. Therefore, let your words be few. Exodus chapter 23, verses 20 and 21. Behold, I send an angel before you to keep you in the way, and to bring you into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. Revelations chapter 3, verses 20 through 22. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him, and he with me. To him that overcomes will I grant to sit with me in my throne, even as I have also overcame and am sat down with my Father in his throne. He that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says unto the churches.
All right, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Which is peace on Yahweh's holy Sabbath day. Welcome to another holy convocation that Yahweh has enjoined unto us here in this body of Yahshua. Now, we have all heard of the sacrificial lamb. We understand that Yahshua played that role. But we also have to understand that it was said by Yahshua, if they have called the master of the house Beelzebub, how much more shall they call they of his household? So then there are minor sacrifices that must come from the servants that are coming under the banner of Yahshua. So today's sermon is entitled The Sacrificial Servant. And I want to read to start off with in Luke chapter 22 and starting at verse 24. It says, and there was also a strife among them, which of them should be accounted the greatest. And he said unto them, the kings of the Gentiles exercise lordship over them, and they that exercise authority upon them are called benefactors. But you shall not be so. But he that is greatest among you, let him be as the younger, and he that is chief as he that does serve. For whether is greater, he that sits at meat or he that serveth? Is not he that sits at meat? But I am among you as he that serves. So Yahshua is telling them, even though he has this great amount of authority and power, he is the biggest servant of them all, meaning that he is pushing his desires to the back to make sure that they are taken care of. And that's not something that he is forced to do. That's something that he wants to do willingly. So when he goes and asks his father, he understands that this path is going to be very tumultuous to redeem the children of Israel. He asks if there's another way. He asked for another path, but when the father said, okay, it needs to be done this way, all right, this is the way we got to do it. This is when one of the brothers went to pull out his sword, he says, do you not think that I can call my father and get legions of angels? So there's the sacrifice that we know of. And then there are other sacrifices that go along the way that you don't even understand that they have the power to do if they wanted to. Verse 28, you are they which have continued with me in my temptations, and I appoint unto you a kingdom, as my Father has appointed unto me, that you may eat and drink at my table in my kingdom and sit on thrones judging the 12 tribes of Israel. There are sacrifices that they made in their life, not that they were put up on the torture stake like Yeshua. There are some sacrifices that happen along the way that most people would never even witness. But we're going to begin today's sermon in Ezekiel chapter 2. Ezekiel chapter 2, and we're going to start that at verse 1.
Ezekiel chapter 2 and verse 1. And he said unto me, Son of man, stand upon your feet, and I'll speak unto you. And the Spirit entered into me when he spake unto me, and set me upon my feet. And I heard him that spake unto me. And he said unto me, Son of man, I send you to the children of Israel, to a rebellious nation that has rebelled against me. They and their fathers have transgressed against me, even unto this very day. For they are impudent children and stiff-hearted. I do send you unto them, and you shall say unto them, Thus says Yahweh Elohim. And they, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear, for they are a rebellious house.
So this automatically lets him know that I'm giving you a job, and understand it is imperative that you understand the instructions of the job that you are given. All right? Because if you don't understand the instructions of the job, you think that your job is based on their adherence. Listen to the instructions, verse 4, for they are impudent children and stiff-hearted. I do send you among them, and you shall say unto them, Thus says the Adonai Elohim. And they, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear, for they are a rebellious house. He already letting you know, all right, now this is going to be a tough job that I'm sending you to do. And let me explain to you that everybody not going to hear you. Okay? I don't care how articulate you are. I don't care how much you lay your life down on the line. I don't care what you do. There are some that are just not going to hear you. You need to understand that's part of the job, or you're going to think you did something wrong. Go ahead.
Yet shall know that there has been a prophet among them.
They're going to know that afterwards. They don't know that they had a prophet among them until the stuff comes to pass that you said a long time ago. You don't know that you got a prophet in the present. That's not what a prophet is. A prophet tells you about things that are going to happen. So you might have a conversation, they tell you, hey man, you off on that stuff. And then 3 years later, they done turned over their whole chest to draw looking for your number. Right. Go ahead.
And you, son of man, be not afraid of them, neither be afraid of their words. Though briars and thorns be with you, and you does dwell among scorpions, be not afraid of their words, nor be dismayed at their looks, though they be a rebellious house.
Right, scorpions sting. Okay.
And
He said they're gonna say some stuff that's gonna sting you. It's certain things that's said to you that hurt your feelings, but there's something else that come out when it's stinging, and you just get that little lock for a minute. but go ahead on now. Go ahead and understand what the job entails. At least now your feelings have got, in the way because you forgot your job instructions. A lot of times that happens to people. After a while, they see what's happening and they misread their job description. They have forgotten the job description because of the other things they are saying. No. Go back to the stuff that you was told when you got hired. That's your job description. I don't give a damn what they're doing in that break room. There's a whole lot of people hanging out in that break room. Now, the person who worked beside you is doing some other stuff. That's all fine and dandy. What were your instructions when you got the job? Go ahead.
Verse 7. And you shall speak my words unto them, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear, for they are most rebellious. But you, son of man, hear what I say unto you. Be not you rebellious like that rebellious house. Open your mouth and eat that I give you.
Okay. Your rebellion would be in not fully dealing with what he has given you. Their rebellion would be if they don't listen to you. Okay, go ahead.
And when I looked, behold, an hand was sent unto me, and lo, a roll of a book was therein. And he spread it before me, and it was written within and without. And there was written therein lamentations and mourning and woe. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, eat that you find it. Eat this roll, and go speak unto the house of Israel.
All right, if you're going to eat this roll, that means you're going to digest this right here. You're going to consume it. You're going to digest it. Now, I have been told that it is best for digestion if you don't eat very fast. Somebody had said to me one time that I might eat fast sometime, and it might cause me a digestion problem. I said, get the hell out of my way and pass those biscuits. But later on, I did realize that I had a little bit of a tummy ache. I did. So you can try to rush through this roll if you want to. But I'm going to tell you, your digestion going to be different. Okay, go ahead.
So I opened my mouth, and he caused me to eat that roll. And he said unto me, Son of man, cause your belly to eat, and fill your bowels with this roll that I give you. Then did I eat it, and it was in my mouth as honey for sweetness. And he said unto me, Son of man, go, get you unto the house of Israel, and speak with my words unto them. For you are not sent to a people of a strange speech and of an hard language, but to the house of Israel. Not to many people of a strange speech and of a hard language, whose words you cannot understand. Surely, had I sent you to them, they would have hearkened unto you.
You have to think about how deep this is, what he's saying. If I had sent you to South America, they would have heard you. Wait a minute. So if you sent me to a place where they don't speak English, they would have heard me? How do people that don't speak my language gonna hear me? So you're gonna have the biggest problem from the folk who's supposed to be listening on the same frequency as you. That's gonna be your biggest problem. Okay? Didn't Yeshua say a prophet is not without honor, save in his own house, among his own people, among his own kindred? That's going to be your hardest battle to fight. They're not enthused with your gift. They say, we all got that gift. I mean, what's so special about what you do? I mean, yeah. I mean, Yahweh might have called you, but I mean, we was just out that day. You know, he could have called us. Oh, okay. Go ahead.
You know, Elder, you got to think about it. When you're talking to someone who's of another language, a different speech, we tend to slow down. And speak slower, that digestion. Take your time chewing your food and let it digest.
Correct.
And if they're talking to us, we tend to peak our ears more, to listen more attentively, to try to understand what's being said.
We also act it out too. Do you want to eat? Go ahead, bro.
Verse 7. But the house of Israel will not hearken unto you, for they will not hearken unto me.
It looks like Yahweh has given you an impossible job. He told you to go talk to somebody, and then at the same time told you, look, they ain't gonna listen to you. Because they ain't gonna listen to me. But nonetheless, I need you to go talk to these people. Why would you send me to go talk to some people? And you already told me that the people, hold on. The people not gonna listen to the person who sent me. So if they don't respect your authority, and then you sent me, what make you think they're gonna respect my authority? Well, you got to understand the purpose of the job. The purpose of the job is to make them chargeable. See, sometimes you don't really understand the purpose of your job, so you're doing the wrong job. No. Don't matter whether they respect you or not. Don't matter whether they adhere to what you're saying. They have been made chargeable. So judgment gets to come free and flowing after you get through talking. Go ahead, preach.
For all the house of Israel are impudent and hard-hearted. Behold, I have made your face strong against their faces, and your forehead strong against their foreheads.
All right, so he got to thicken up your skin. He got to thicken up your skin because these some hard-looking people. They're going to look at you hard. They're gonna do some stuff to you. They're going to be aggressive toward you. You got to be ready for all of that. Go ahead.
As an adamant, harder than flint, have I made your forehead.
Now, how does he make one's forehead hard? He got to send you through something that's going to get you less sensitive. See, after the stuff keep happening to you, you may not notice that you're getting stronger. But when you start measuring your tears, you realize, I used to be able to fill up this glass with my tears. And later on, you look and you can empty it. I thought I had some tears in there. Oh, okay. All right, things changing. Go ahead.
Fear them not, neither be dismayed at their looks, though they be a rebellious house. Thus says the Adonai Elohim, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear. Then the Spirit took me up, and I heard behind me a voice of a great rushing, saying, Blessed be the glory of Yahweh from his place. I heard also noise of the wings of the living creatures that touched one another, and the noise of the wheels over against them, and a noise of a great rushing. So the Spirit lifted me up and took me away, and I went in bitterness in the heart of my spirit, in the heat of my spirit, but the hand of Yahweh was strong upon me. Then I came to them of the captivity at Tel Abib, that dwelt by the river Chebar, and I sat where they sat, and remained there astonished among them 7 days. And it came to pass at the end of 7 days that the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, I have made you a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word at my mouth, and give them warning from me.
Right. Now, when you give somebody warning, sometimes they can't really hear your warning because they can't see the things that you see. The whole part about the watchman is that he's placed at the tower or on the top of a hill. His vantage point is different than yours. At the top of the hill, the watchman can see miles away. The people that's down on regular land can say, man, we don't know what you're talking about. We ain't seen no soldiers. We ain't seen no horses marching here. Man, we gonna finish this party, man. We playing spades. You understand? So we about to set these fools. I'm not finna stop what I'm doing because this going good. Because they don't see any danger. They don't have the same vantage point. Okay, go ahead.
When I say unto the wicked, you shall surely die, and you give him not warning, nor speak to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life. The same wicked man shall die in his lawlessness, but his blood will I require at your hand.
Now, why would a watchman not warn somebody? Now, that is his job. At a point, after being rejected, sometimes we start seeking the comfort of our own selves and say, you know what? I'm not even gonna do that because all they gonna do is say such and such and such and such. So I'm not even gonna say it. Now that individual was not warned. Go ahead.
Yet if you warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his lawlessness, but you have delivered your soul. Again, when a righteous man does turn from his righteousness and commit lawlessness, and I lay a stumbling block before him, he shall die. Because you have not given him warning, he shall die in his sin, and his righteousness which he has done shall not be remembered. But his blood will I require at your hand.
I will require it at your hand because you didn't warn him. See, it's not your job to make somebody change. It is just your job to say what you needed to say. Go ahead.
Nevertheless, if you warn the righteous man that the righteous sin not, and he does not sin, he shall surely live, because he was warned. Also you have delivered your soul. And the hand of Yahweh was there upon me. And he said unto me, Arise, go forth into the plain, and I will there talk with you. Then I arose and went forth into the plain, and behold, the glory of Yahweh stood there, as the glory which I saw by the river Kibar, and I fell upon my face. Then the Spirit entered into me, and set me upon my feet, and spake with me, and said unto me, Go, shut yourself within your house. But you, O son of man, behold, they shall put bands upon you, and shall bind you with them, and you shall not go out among them. And I'll make your tongue cleave to the roof of your mouth, that you shall be dumb, and shall not be to them a reprover, for they are a rebellious house.
So, in 1 minute, see, this is how you have to move with Yahweh. 1 minute he tells you to go and talk and go and proclaim all of these things. The next minute he says, shut your mouth. And when the watchman is related to the trumpet, it says that this trumpet is this watchman, and hey, he loud. When all of a sudden the loud person stopped talking, it bothers everybody. Ask me how I know. It ain't yelling that caused a problem in my house. It when I stop talking. Everybody come around, what the hell wrong with you? What's wrong with you? I'm just chilling. No, you don't get to chill. The hell is wrong with you? Go ahead, bro.
But when I speak with you, I'll open your mouth, and you shall say unto them, Thus says the Yahweh Elohim, He that hears, let him hear, and he that forbeareth, let him forbear, for they are a rebellious house.
For they are a rebellious house. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 1. See, we can't get stuck in a mode when dealing with Yahweh. We can't get stuck in this one thing that says, okay, this is glorious, this is righteous. Yahweh can change a gear at any given point. I mean, our car got 5 speeds. Why my God only has 1? But you chained 5 of them on your way here. I don't know nobody just rode in first all the way here. They probably on the side of the road waiting for the tow truck right now. Jeremiah chapter 1, and let's start at verse 4.
The words of Jeremiah, the son of Hilkiah, of the priests that were in Anatoth, in the land of Benjamin, to whom the word of Yahweh came in the days of Josiah, the son of Amon, king of Yehudah, in the 13th year of his reign. It came also in the days of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Yehudah, unto the end of the 11th year of Zedekiah, the son of Josiah, king of Yehudah, unto the carrying away of Jerusalem captive in the 5th month. Then the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Before I formed you in the belly, I knew you.
Why don't we hear a whole lot of things about captivity from the people that are in the land? Because this is clearly Old Testament. And it's still talking about all of these various captivities that the children of Israel have gone through. How is it that we don't see anything about that? Go ahead.
And before you came forth out of the womb, I sanctified you, and I ordained you a prophet unto the nations.
See, there's some people that are predestined. They are predestined for the job that they are doing. They didn't have any decision or choice in the matter. They didn't, and people said, I found the Lord. He didn't find nothing. This was what he had appointed for you for day one. He let you play around in them projects for a minute. When you look outside, you say, okay, I know it's time for me to bring that boy in. But you know what I see? They playing a little game out there. I let them play over there. I let them play a little bit longer. And then, yeah, ooh, that was a good tackle. All right, I let them play for a little bit longer. I let him play a little bit longer. But you know what? I'm going to have to go get him in a minute because we need to be about my business. He need to be about his father's business. But I'm going to let him play just for a little bit longer. You know what I'm saying? Because that was a good tackle. I saw that one. Okay. But when it's time, he going to call you up out of there. Go ahead.
Then said I, Adonai, behold, I cannot speak, for I am a child. But Yahweh said unto me, say not, I am a child, for you shall go to all that I shall send you, and whatsoever I command you, you shall speak.
So here we go, another one of Yahweh's prophets, and he's explaining to him, look, your job depends on whether or not you say the things that I'm telling you to say. Now, why would that be a problem? If God is love, like they keep telling us on Sunday morning, who has a problem speaking love? Nobody has a problem saying nice things all the time. I never seen Joel Osteen in distress. I've never seen him unhappy. He's never said an untoward word toward a person in that Colosseum. Not one. But if Yahweh has to say, look, I'm telling you now, look, don't be afraid. Wait a minute, that means he going to make you say some stuff. That means he going to push you to say some stuff that's going to upset some people. All right, go ahead.
Be not afraid of their faces, for I am with you to deliver you, says Yahweh.
Now, wait a minute. Now, this is the second prophet that he done had to say, look, I'm trying to tell you, if looks can kill you, you'd already be dead. Because Israel, nobody mean mugs like Israel. We have levels of mean mug, you know. We have that walking in the street mean mug, the mean look, don't ask me for nothing. You understand what I'm talking about? We have levels of mean mugging. Yahweh knows his people. I'm telling you, look, don't be afraid of the looks on their face. Go ahead.
Then Yahweh put forth his hand and touched my mouth. And Yahweh said unto me, behold, I put my words in your mouth. See, I have this day set you over the nations and over the kingdoms, to root out and to pull down and to destroy and to throw down, to build and to plant.
Wait a minute, man. That don't sound like he set him out for love. That don't sound, he didn't say, now, behold, I have touched your mouth, and I am love. And you shall bring forth flowers and just loving smells throughout the universe. They shall hug you everywhere thee go. That's not what I read. It sounded like he was giving him war equipment. All right, now put this shield on, put these boots on. All right, get ready. Okay, go ahead.
Moreover, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Yirmiyahu, what seeth you? And I said, I see a rod of an almond tree. Then said Yahweh unto me, you have well seen, for I will hasten my word to perform it. Then the word of Yahweh came unto me the second time, saying, what seeth you? And I said, I see a seething pot, and the face thereof is toward the north. Then Yahweh said unto me, out of the north an evil shall break forth upon all the inhabitants of the land.
Now, what's happening here is he's teaching him how to notice when he's being spoken to. Okay? So he shows him this thing, and then he tells him what the thing means. The next time he doesn't have to talk to him. All they got to do is show him the thing. Like, oh, hey, they on the way. Why? I just seen the thing again. So now, once he now establishes this as danger, it might be somewhere, he might be somewhere enjoying himself, and boom, this thing popped back up in his head. He's like, oh no, I gotta go. Why? He just told me it was danger. How he do that? Showed me the same vision he showed me last time. But now the invading army is Pookie Johnson and Man and them, and they on their way. I need to get the hell up out of here before Pookie and Man get here. See, now it ain't about the whole army coming. He done already showed me that. I done already dealt with that. But he gave me that right at this point because I need to get out of here before Pookie and Man get here because they don't have no good intentions for me. But he didn't have to come and have the whole conversation with me. All he had to do is show me the same thing that he showed me before. It's almost like a key, if you will. This means that. Now, every time I show you this, you need to understand that this is what's coming for you. Done deal. Go ahead.
For, lo, I will call all the families of the kingdoms of the north, says Yahweh, and they shall come, and they shall set everyone his throne at the entering of the gates of Jerusalem, and against all the walls thereof round about, and against all the cities of Yehuda. And I'll utter my judgments against them, touching all their wickedness, who have forsaken me, and have burnt incense unto other gods, and worshipped the works of their own hands. You therefore gird up your loins, and arise, and speak unto them all that I command you. Be not dismayed at their faces, lest I confound you before them.
Now, if you get scared because of how angry they are, I'm going to confound you. What you mean? Now, I'm sending you, but you better say it with your chest. Put some spec on it. Cause if you go in there scared, I'm telling you now, I'm gonna confound you in front of them. So if you got to try to speak to somebody, and you're trying to tell these people that the things that they are doing is wrong, let me tell you something. The hardest conversation is to have a conversation with anybody about something that they have done wrong. It is a very difficult conversation. They are not trying to hear that. Here comes emotion. Here comes pride. Pride kicks in whenever we are told that we have done something wrong. Every last one of us have it. And that pride that kicks in first is self-preservation. Go ahead.
For behold, I have made you this day a defense city, and an iron pillar, and brazen walls against the whole land, against the kings of Yehuda, against the princes thereof, against the priests thereof, and against the people of the land. And they shall fight against you, but they shall not prevail against you, for I am with you, says Yahweh, to deliver you.
All right, they will fight against you. Not they might, they will. Let's go to Malachi chapter 2. Malachi chapter 2, and let's start that at verse 10.
Have we not all one Father? Have not one Elohim created us? Why do we deal treacherously every man against his brother by profaning the covenant of our fathers? Yehuda has dealt treacherously, and an abomination is committed in Israel and in Jerusalem. But Yehuda has profaned the holiness of Yahweh, which he loved, and has married the daughter of a strange god.
Right. So then what we do is Yahweh establishes us. He gives us all the sustenance that we need, but then we start entertaining other things. See, we are enthused about anything that is foreign, because we've been told that, the imports are the best. So we don't want nothing but an import that says we got something nice. So we take that mindset and stretch it out, and now we have so many imported things that we feel like we are on a certain level. Then we get to the point where Yahweh is domestic. You see, that's the God we know of. We want something that's more rare. So now we find something else, because see, now we done got accustomed to Yahweh. It's not new to us anymore. Now we want some imported God. It matches our car and our clothing. Go ahead.
Yahweh will cut off the man that does this, the master and the scholar, out of the tabernacles of Jacob, and him that offers an offering unto Yahweh of hosts. And this have you done again, covering the altar of Yahweh with tears, with weeping, and with crying out, insomuch that he regards not the offering any more, or receives it with goodwill at your hand. Yet you say, wherefore? Because Yahweh has been witness between you and the wife of your youth, against whom you have dealt treacherously. Yet is she your companion and the wife of your covenant.
Right. Yahweh is dealing with two things right there. When we were covered in our own blood, and Yahweh then took us, cleaned us up, took us under his skirt, it was totally different when we first heard that word, when we first understood who we were as a people. But then after a while, after we grow in stature, now we've gotten into some other thought processes. So the same things that made us happy 20 years ago, now we're looking for some imported stuff. See, this is how we do the wife of our youth. Yahweh said, wait a minute, this word that I gave you, I am the wife of your youth. But now you done grown to be a fine, upstanding individual. Oh, now you looking elsewhere. See, we one way when we in high school. Then we come out of college, we get the car, and we say, you know what, hold on now. Hold on, look. Kiki, I know you've been here for a minute. But I went to the club last night. I pulled up at the front. Man, look at Kiki, I don't know if this is going to work out. I know you've been here for years. I know you've been through all the trials and tribulations. I know that. But you just seen how they were looking at me. Right. Now, we are encouraged to be treacherous to the wife of our youth, because now your stature has grown. Now you got things you didn't have before. Now all of a sudden, people think you attractive. See, look, Kiki thought you were attractive when you still had that crust, right? That when the crust was still in there. Matter of fact, Kiki got that crust out for you. You know what I'm saying? Okay, Yahweh said, I'm Kiki. What the problem is? You don't see me? Go ahead.
And did not he make one, yet had he the residue of the Spirit? And wherefore one? That he might seek a godly seed. Therefore take heed to your spirit, and let none deal treacherously against the wife of his youth. For Yahweh, the Elohim of Israel, says that he hates putting away.
He said, wait a minute, you put me away and married the daughter of a strange God? You forgot about me? The word says if a man has a wife and takes another wife. Jay said, no, we're just going to get rid of you altogether. Because I can be of a greater stature if I just, do away with that. Go ahead.
For one covers violence with his garment, says Yahweh of hosts. Therefore take heed to your spirit, that you deal not treacherously. You have wearied Yahweh with your words, yet you say, wherein have we wearied him? When you say, everyone that does evil is good in the sight of Yahweh, and he delights in them. Or where is the Elohim of judgment?
Now, as we start entertaining other things, this is where we're going to say these things that does evil is still good. This is where we start having that whole situation where people say, tell your truth. Now, it ain't the truth, but it's your truth. Wait a minute. So then now, even though it's evil, it's actually good for them because it's their truth. We don't even see that at that point. Wait a minute. You just called what was evil good because it was good for them. So it's not evil anymore? Interesting. Let's go to Micah chapter 7. Micah chapter 7, and we're going to read verses 1 through 20.
Woe is me, for I am as when they have gathered the summer fruits, as the grape gleanings of the vintage. There is no cluster to eat. My soul desires the first ripe fruit. The good man is perished out of the earth, and there's none upright among men. They all lie in wait for blood. They hunt every man his brother with a net, that they may do evil with both hands earnestly. The prince acts, and the judge acts for a reward. And the great man, he utters his mischievous desire, so they wrap it up. The best of them is as briar. The most upright is sharper than a thorn hedge. The day of your watchman and your visitation comes. Now shall be their perplexity. Trust you not in a friend, put you not confidence in a guide. Keep the doors of your mouth from her that lies in your bosom.
It comes a time where you're gonna have to go ahead and close that. What's supposed to be a help me at a time, you may say, all right, this is gonna cause some problem. Because it may be a situation between two brothers. Those two brothers make up, but you done let that out to her that lies in your bosom. Now she still got a problem. No, they don't have a problem no more. What you doing? Go ahead.
For the son dishonors the father, and the daughter rise up against her mother. The daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. A man's enemies are the men of his own house. Therefore, I will look unto Yahweh. I will wait for the Elohim of my salvation. My Elohim will hear me. Rejoice not against me, O mine enemy. When I fall, I shall arise. When I sit in darkness, Yahweh shall be a light unto me.
Not if I fall. Walking is an unstable act. The only stable part about standing is both of your feet firmly planted on the ground, shoulder width apart. That is the only stable part about standing. Once you decide to move, you are no longer stable. In every last one of those steps, one foot must come off the ground. You are no longer stable. It is inevitable that at some point when one moves, there is going to be a fall sooner or later. Now, you can take care of not falling now. You just stand there all your life. Just your little monkey sound in one place. You don't do nothing. You don't move. Then you just stand there. Now you'll never fall. You'll never fall. But you ain't never gonna go nowhere either. Right? You ain't never gonna go nowhere. Right. Go ahead.
I'll bear the indignation of Yahweh, because I have sinned against him. Until he plead my cause and execute judgment for me, he will bring me forth to the light, and I shall behold his righteousness. Then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her which said unto me, where is Yahweh your Elohim? Mine eyes shall behold her.
Right. As soon as you fall, now you got to get ready. Here come your enemies or anybody that the adversary will get into at that moment. Because it ain't got to be your arch rival. It can be the person you love the most. And that spirit is just jumping there just for a second. Where's that God you was talking about? You don't seem very glorious today. Go ahead.
Now shall she be trodden down as the mire of the streets. In the day that your walls are to be built, in that day shall the decree be far removed. In that day also he shall come even to you from Assyria, and from the fortified cities, and from the fortress even to the river, and from sea to sea, and from mountain to mountain. Notwithstanding, the land shall be desolate because of them that dwelt therein, for the fruit of their doings. Feed your people with your rod, the flock of your heritage, which dwell solitarily in the wood, in the midst of Carmel. Let them feed in Bashan and Gilead, as in the days of old. According to the days of your coming out of the land of Egypt, will I show unto him marvelous things. The nations shall see, and be confounded at all their might. They shall lay their hand upon their mouth, their ears shall be deaf. They shall lick the dust like a serpent. They shall move out of their holes like worms of the earth. They shall be afraid of Yahweh our Elohim, and shall fear because of you. Who is an Elohim like unto you, that pardons lawlessness, and passes by the transgression of the remnant of his heritage? He retaineth not his anger forever, because he delights in mercy. He will turn again, he will have compassion upon us. He will subdue our lawlessness, and you will cast all their sins into the depths of the sea. You will perform the truth to Jacob and the mercy to Abraham, which you have sworn unto our fathers from the days of old.
All right. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 5. Jeremiah chapter 5, and let's start that at verse 7.
Verse 7. How shall I pardon you for this? Your children have forsaken me, and sworn by them that are no gods. When I had fed them to the full, they then committed adultery and assembled themselves by troops to the harlots' houses.
So everything that we want says that, hey, if we had this money, life would be so much better. See, if I had this money, you know what I'm saying, if folks would like me. If I had this money, my woman would treat me better. If I had this money, life would be so much better. And man, we are in a very, very delicate and dangerous place, because Israel has a tendency, when we are fed to the full, then when we take a nap on Yahweh. See, once we get full, here come that idols. There's a whole lot of stuff we be talking about we gonna do. Yeah, we gonna do such and such. Then we get full. You know what? You know what? We can probably do that tomorrow. We probably. You remember we had to say it earlier. You remember? So we can probably. Okay. That don't come till we get full. That don't come till we get full. Okay. Yahweh said he know when we are at our most dangerous to go against him, when we're full. And some of us can't figure out why he keep taking just a little bit of food from us. Every time we're trying to get full, he snatched that last piece of chicken. We can't figure it out. We can't figure it out because you about to take a nap on Yahweh. You about to take that nap on Yahweh, and he got to keep snatching that from you. He's like, look, I'm saving you. Because you take a nap on me, I'm going to have to aggressively wake you up. Go ahead.
There were as fed horses in the morning, everyone neighed after his neighbor's wife. Shall I not visit for these things, says Yahweh, and shall not my soul be avenged on such a nation as this? Go you up upon her walls, and destroy, but make not a full end. Take away her battlements, for they are not Yahweh's. For the house of Israel and the house of Yehudah have dealt very treacherously against me, says Yahweh. They have belied Yahweh, and said, it is not he, neither shall evil come upon us, neither shall we see sword nor famine.
Right. We think, but that sounds good. You know, that means somebody is speaking faith and prosperity. You know, people don't want to hear anything bad. You know, don't say this bad stuff. Say this good stuff. Say, you know, we are more than conquerors. You know, say how much he loveth thee. Don't, you know, speak any negativity toward me. You bring in negativity. Wait. He that told you that nothing but good things was going to happen to you. That one you need to go get. Because he's setting you up so that when the adversary swing, you going down first punch. You know, I ain't going to be able to put up a fight. Go ahead.
And the prophets shall become wind, and the word is not in them. Thus shall it be done unto them. Therefore, thus says the Adonai Elohim of hosts, because you speak this word, behold, I'll make my words in your mouth fire, and this people wood, and it shall devour them.
Wait a minute. That don't sound like he's sending folk off to just have a love fest. He said, look, that word gonna burn them up. Now the word gonna come out of your mouth, so then who they gonna be angry with then? See, after you get through talking, they ain't gonna be like, you know, I'm so angry with Yahweh. Now, I'm angry with you. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Lo, I will bring a nation upon you from far. O house of Israel, says Yahweh. It is a mighty nation. It is an ancient nation, a nation whose language you knoweth not, neither understandeth what they say.
Mm-hmm.
Their quiver is as an open sepulchre. They are all mighty men. And they shall eat up your harvest and your bread, which your sons and your daughters should eat. They shall eat up your flocks and your herds. They shall eat up your vines and your fig trees. They shall impoverish your fenced cities wherein you trusted with the sword.
Mm-hmm.
Nevertheless, in those days, says Yahweh, I will not make a full end with you. And it will come to pass, when you shall say, wherefore does Yahweh our Elohim all these things upon us? Then shall you answer them, like as you have forsaken me, and served strange gods in your land, so shall you serve strangers in a land that is not yours.
Wait a minute. This is the very same stuff we go back and Deuteronomy and read. Yeah, people talking about, we debunked Deuteronomy 28. Well, debunk Jeremiah 5 too. I'm going to need you to get your debunking on all the way through. You got to keep, you might want to get you some bunk beds, because you're going to need to debunk a whole lot of stuff right here. You're going to need a lot more bunks. You're going to need a lot, you got a lot of bunking to debunk all this. He just went all the way back to the foundation right there. But yet folks will tell you how long they've been in the land and how long they've been speaking the language. Wait a minute, man. My book say something altogether different. How you doing all this? How were you scattered but still knew who you were and kept the culture? That is completely against the book. Right. Go ahead, Priest.
Declare this in the house of Jacob, and publish it in Yehudah, saying, hear now this, O foolish people, and without understanding, which have eyes and see not, which have ears and hear not.
Right. Wait. Blindness in part has happened to Israel until the fullness of the Gentiles be come in. Of course they have ears but can't hear. Okay, go ahead.
Fear you not me, says Yahweh. Will you not tremble at my presence, which have placed the sand for the bond of the sea by a perpetual decree, that it cannot pass it, And though the waves thereof toss themselves, yet can they not prevail. Though they roar, yet can they not pass over it. But this people has a revolting and a rebellious heart. They are revolted and gone. Neither say they in their heart, let us now fear Yahweh our Elohim, that gives rain, both the former and the latter, in his season. He reserveth unto us the appointed weeks of the harvest. Your lawlessness have turned away these things, and your sins have withholden good things from you.
Your actions have withhold these things from you. Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 2. So Yahweh says, okay, we have a problem when you get full. He said you don't act right when you get full. So that there's a tad bit of hunger that we need to stay off in. This is why you find says, don't give me so much that I forget about you, or don't give me so little that I steal. Wait a minute, what was this man asking for? Keep me in the middle. I don't need to be poor and not able to eat. But if I get too much past what I am able to handle, I'm just as bad off if I was homeless on the street. Sometimes we get more and end up with less. I realized that my debt was largest when I made the most money. I had debt going out everywhere, but I had money coming in. It didn't matter. You know what? Get another one. Keep the party going. What? It broke? Get two of them. More money, more money, more money. What? It was coming, but it was also going. Okay. When did that get better? When I stopped making that much money. That is strange. I ended up with more stuff with less money. Well, now I'm dealing with it different. See? It ain't flowing and falling from the window to the wall. Now I got to deal with it differently. See? Even my time, I had to deal with my time differently. See? I get more stuff done. Why? Because I ain't got no time. When I had a whole lot of time, I absolutely squandered it. I did absolutely nothing with my time. I looked at music videos for hours. I listened to music for hours. I watched football games for hours. I did nothing. Now I don't have time. And somehow I get a little bit more done than I did when I had all day to do it. The way to get better with something is not getting more of it. That don't make you better. You don't need to be better when you got more of it. Okay. Go ahead, Bree.
Ecclesiastes chapter 2 and verse 1. I said in my heart, go to now. I'll prove you with mirth. Therefore enjoy pleasure. And behold, this also is vanity.
I will prove you with happiness. You won't be happy? You know what? Give him double dose of happy. You want pleasure? Plot out. There it is. Pleasure coming up. Go ahead.
I said of laughter, it is mad. And of mirth, what does it? I sought in my heart to give myself unto wine, yet acquainting mine heart with wisdom, and to lay hold on folly, till I might see what was that good for the sons of men, which they should do under the heaven all the days of their life. I made me great works. I built me houses. I planted me vineyards. I made me gardens and orchards, and I planted trees in them of all kind of fruits. I made me pools of water, to water therewith the wood that brings forth trees. I got me servants and maidens, and had servants born in my house. Also I had great possessions of great and small cattle above all that were in Jerusalem before me. I gathered me also silver and gold, at the peculiar treasure of the kings and of the provinces. I got me men singers and women singers, and the delights of the sons of men as musical instruments, and that of all sorts.
You know, I mean, in this day, you know, we be like, you know, I got us some speakers. No, he said, look, I got me singles. You know what I'm saying? You know, I want to hear a song. Y'all get together and sing a song. Wait a minute. He got human radio. Okay. He balling. Go ahead.
So I was great and increased more than all that were before me in Jerusalem. Also my wisdom remained with me.
Oh, man, come on. Wait a minute. I got money and my wisdom remain with me. Come on, flat out. Go ahead.
And whatsoever mine eyes desired, I kept not from them.
Oh, man, if I see it, I got the bread. Let's go on and get that thing then. What the problem is? I mean, I got it like that. Let's just go get it. What that crazy Drake said, I'm the kind that pray about something and then go get it. What need to wait on God for? He said he answered his own prayers. Okay, when I fed you to the full, that's when you turned against me. Okay, wait a minute. You need your Elohim less and less. Okay, go ahead.
I withheld not my heart from any joy.
No, man, look here. If I can have it, I can do it. All right? It's there. Hey, let's make it happen, Captain. Go ahead.
For my heart rejoiced in all my labor, and this was my portion of all my labor.
But look, it's mine. I worked for this. Okay? I can ball out till I fall out. Go ahead.
Then I looked on all the works that my hands had wrought, and on the labor that I had labored to do. And behold, all was vanity and vexation of spirit, and there was no profit under the sun.
But it took all of that to figure that out. After you done all of this and done all of these things to make you feel whole, only to look up and say, all was vanity and vexation of spirit. It would be wonderful if you can figure that out before you spent everything. If you can figure that out before, you might be able to do something different. You find out new money and old money act different. See, when money new to you, it actually smolders in your pocket. When you first get, you can hear the fire burning. You can smell. Y'all smell it? What's that? There's money. Now, if you can hold it long enough to get used to it, you operate differently with it. But it's got to still be left over after the new smell wears off. See, if it's like a hot tater, you're not gonna have it that long. You get it. Oh yeah, spit that. Whew, that was hot. if it go there, you ain't hold it long enough for you to get used to it. You gotta hold it long enough for you to get used to it. Then you operate differently with it. Okay, go ahead, brother.
That's why we have there's actual neighborhoods.
Now give me my damn pen.
You throwing your
I
stuff.
just playing.
That's why you got that old money, new money. You got old established rich neighborhoods that won't allow new money to come in.
Hey, that's what the covenants was for. What they call them things?
HOAs.
Yeah, that y'all have in them fine neighborhoods. Yeah. Them HOAs. That's what they have those for. So they can keep, you new money from coming into an old money neighborhood, because y'all mess it up. Y'all don't put the basketball goal in the front. Damn, man, put the basketball goal in the back, man. Why y'all got to be playing? Y'all just gonna lift weights right down the grass? For real? Okay, yeah, because they know they gonna operate differently because they new to it. That's why Yahweh know he can't give us no reparations here. Man, we're gonna give all that money back. We're going to get right on the boat and be just as broke as we were on the last boat trip. We ain't going to have nothing. We're going to be done gave them all that money back. Go ahead, Bree.
Verse 11. Luke chapter 15 and verse 11.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, Luke.
You know, while you're working there, even some of these auto dealerships won't let you buy their car brand new till you've had one of the used ones.
But I don't think I ever had a new car. That must be a nice life y'all got right there.
I ain't saying me. I'm just
When
saying.
I grow up, I'm going to be just like you, man. When I grow up, I'm going to be just like you. One day I'm going to get me a car, and ain't no butt been on the seat but mine. Yeah, bro.
Verse 11. And he said, a certain man had 2 sons. And the younger of them said to his father, Father, give me the portion of good that falls to me. And he divided unto them his living.
All right, now there's new money. See, he not used to money yet. See? Now his dad, he been around money, but he ain't had none. I mean, it wasn't here. I mean, he didn't have to, spend it. I mean, he saw what his daddy had, It's something different, though, when you in the store and your pocket's smoldering. Go ahead.
Not many days after, the younger son gathered all together and took his journey into a far country, and there wasted his substance with riotous living.
Now, see, you have to been undone this, a time before to know what it looked like. See, I done ran through some money before, and went and looked at my bank account. I said, I swore somebody robbed me. Come on now. Somebody robbed me. I called the bank. Hey, where all these damn transactions? See. Hey, they see you made those. Yeah. I said, no, I couldn't have made all these. I couldn't have made all these. Yeah, I went back. Yeah, I made all those. Yeah, I made all those. But I tell you what, I was different next time money came around. I was different next time. See? Sometimes you need a little starter fall course. You know what I'm saying? Then you'll do a little better. So that first fall, hopefully it's just a little bit that you fall with. You know what I'm saying? So maybe you'll be able to stand later. Go ahead, brother.
And when he had spent all, there arose a mighty famine in that land, and he began to be in want. And he went and joined himself to a citizen of that country, and he sent him into his fields to feed swine. And he would fain have filled his belly with the husk that the swine did eat, and no man gave unto him. And when he came to himself, he said, how many hired servants of my father's have bread enough and to spare?
Okay, all right. Okay, so I can tell you at the point it was for me. It was when I had logged on to Bank of America and I checked the balance. Then I came to myself. I said, damn it, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? I came to myself. Now I can't tell you when you gonna come to yourself. I'm not in charge of you and yourself. I'm just telling you when I came to myself. Okay, I had logged on. I got this app. And then what I said, I put my password in. I logged in. I said, I'll be damned. That's when I saw myself. It might have been a reflection in the thing right there. I saw myself. Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
And I perished with hunger. I'll arise and go to my father, and I'll say unto him, Father, I've sinned against heaven and before you, and I'm no more worthy to be called your son. Make me as one of your hired servants.
Now, we can do that spiritually as well. We can squander that word. You have an inheritance in this word. Are you going out squandering it, living riotous and living with harlots because you want to hang with your friends? And you're blowing off your inheritance. Okay. All right. just know when you blow all of your inheritance, when you're coming back as a servant, not as a king. All right. Take that how you want to. All right, let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 10.
You know, Elder, we saw that he went to a far country. That means he didn't want to be around when nobody knew him and could tell him, hey, man, what you doing?
Mm-hmm. Oh, man, when we doing wrong, we know we doing wrong. We don't want nobody to be telling us, look, don't be trying to tell me about no damn right. Ain't nobody trying to hear that. I stayed up all night planning this. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, and we're going to start at verse 23.
All things are lawful for me, but all things are not expedient.
Wait a minute. Now, because of the power and the authority given, wait a minute. There are some things that he can do. That don't mean that he should. See, now you're dealing with some sacrifices that may not have to be made, but it's expedient that they are made. Go ahead.
All things are lawful for me, but all things edify not.
Mm-hmm.
Let no man seek his own, but every man honors wealth.
But another's wealth. Go ahead.
Whatsoever is sold in the shambles, that eat, asking no question for conscience sake. For the earth is the Adonai's and the fullness thereof.
In other words, they can make something that say it was for their idol. Yahweh said, the earth mine. Where they get that stuff from? They got it out of my earth. This is why he said, wait a minute, don't ask. Once you find out, you can't deal with that. He said it came from his earth. Go ahead.
If any of them that believe not bid you to a feast, and you be disposed to go, whatsoever is set before you, eat, asking no question for conscience sake. But if any man say unto you, this is offered in sacrifice unto idols.
Now, if you already know it's an idol party, you know what is already idol worship food. You already know that. Because you know the God that they celebrating at the party. You ain't even got to ask that question. Go ahead.
Eat not for his sake that showed it, and for conscience sake. For the earth is the Adonai's and the fullness thereof.
Uh-huh.
Conscience, I say, not your own.
Not yours.
But of
not
the other.
yours. Because somebody else is going to see that. And how are they going to perceive that? And how will that make them fall when they deal with something that they don't understand? There's some things that I can teach out of this book. It'll probably do more harm than good. Why? Because minds ain't ready for some of that. Go ahead.
For why is my liberty judged of another man's conscience? For if I by grace be a partaker, why am I evil spoken of for that for which I give thanks?
Hey, it is dealing with people. We know that they Thanksgiving don't mean nothing. That's the time you're going to probably get a good turkey for sale. It's going to be a good turkey. They have good prices. But having you a turkey feast during that time is probably not a good idea. When folks see you, hey man, y'all keeping Thanksgiving? Nah, brother, we eat turkey all the time. Go ahead.
Whether therefore you eat or drink or whatsoever you do all to the glory of Elohim. Give none offense, neither to the Yehudims, nor to the Gentiles, nor to the church of Elohim. Even as I please all men in all things, not seeking mine own profit, but the profit of many, that they may be saved.
All right, so then there's a little bit of dealing with something. Let's back up. Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 8. But what you got that heat on over there? Hey, I mean, we asked the angel to come in here. I'm trying to figure out which angel you calling. We don't want him. We don't want that angel. We don't want that one.
73, what is it saying?
That looks like it said 80 over there. Because I'm I'm just saying we don't want to call that one. That's not that one.
I think it's just the heat in the room.
Yeah, we don't want to call that one. We don't want to call that one. I know he know Yahweh, but we don't want him. Yeah. All right, 1 Corinthians chapter 8.
Now, as touching things offered unto idols, we know that we all have knowledge. Knowledge puffs up, but love edifies.
All right, knowledge is what causes us some problems when we start trying to explain something when somebody knows a little something about it, and then they don't, no. So now there's a more aggressive interaction because of the knowledge that we have. Go ahead.
And if any man think that he knows anything, he knows nothing yet as he ought to know. But if any man love Elohim, the same is known of him. As concerning therefore the eating of those things that are offered in sacrifice unto idols, we know that an idol is nothing in the world, and there is none other Elohim but one.
Right. The idol is false. It was made up. And then it was put together out of things that came out of Yahweh's creation. Go ahead.
For though there be that are called gods, whether in heaven or in earth, as there be gods many, and masters many. But to us there's but one Elohim, the Father, of whom are all things, and we in him, and one Adonai Yahshua HaMashiach, by whom are all things, and we by him. Howbeit, there is not in every man that knowledge, for some with conscience of the idol unto this hour eat as a thing offered unto an idol, and their conscience being weak is defiled. But meat commendeth us not to Elohim, for neither if we eat are we the better, neither if we eat not are we the worse.
Okay, go ahead.
But take heed lest by means this liberty of yours become a stumbling block to them that are weak.
All right, so you have the ability to do something, but will the liberty of what you have the ability to do, will it cause somebody else to fall? Go ahead.
For if any man see you which has knowledge sit at meat in the idol's temple, shall not the conscience of him which is weak be emboldened to eat those things which are offered to idols? And through your knowledge shall the weak brother perish for whom the Mashiach died.
Now, wait. And through your knowledge, the weak brother has now perished. Go ahead.
But when you sin so against the brethren and wound their weak conscience, you sin against the Mashiach.
Whoa. Pause. So here it is, you have liberty to do something. You have it in your means to do it. But if you then wound somebody else's weak conscience, you have now sinned against Christ, and that wasn't a sin to start with. There's some sacrifices that ain't listed in Leviticus. Go ahead, Bree.
Wherefore, if meat make my brother to offend, I will eat no flesh while the world stands, lest I make my brother to offend.
Least I make my brother to offend. That's a whole different kind of sacrifice. It is not a sacrifice because it's written in the law. It's a sacrifice because you are making an attempt to keep your brother from falling on the ground. That's a different kind of sacrifice. That means you might, have to deny some of you. They say, look, I can do this. That might cause this individual over here an issue. I'm going to hold off on that. I ain't saying I ain't never going to partake in that thing. I just ain't going to do it right now. I'm going to be careful how I deal with that. At least I wounded somebody else's conscience, and now Christ calling me to the table. So can I talk to you for a second? Talk to who? Talk to you. Now, I didn't break no law. I didn't break no law. No. Well, yeah, let me explain to you. Okay. All right. Let's go to Romans chapter 14.
Romans chapter 14 and verse 13. Let us not therefore judge one another anymore, but judge this rather, that no man put a stumbling block or an occasion to fall in his brother's way. I know and am persuaded by the Adonai Yahshua that there is nothing unclean of itself, but to him that esteems anything to be unclean, to him it is unclean. But if your brother be grieved with your meat, now walketh you not lovingly, destroy not him with your meat, for whom the Mashiach died. Let not then your good be evil spoken of, for the kingdom of Elohim is not meat and drink, but righteousness and peace and joy in the Holy Spirit. For he that in these things serveth the Mashiach is acceptable to Elohim and approved of men. Let us therefore follow after the things which make for peace and things wherewith one may edify one another. For meat destroy not the work of Elohim. All things indeed are pure, but it is evil for that man who eats with offense. It is good neither to eat flesh, nor to drink wine, nor anything whereby your brother stumbles, or is offended, or is made weak. Have you faith? Have it to yourself before Elohim. Happy is he that commendeth not himself in that thing which he allows. And he that doubleth is and he that doubteth, pardon me, is damned if he eat, because he eats not of faith. For whatsoever is not of faith is sin.
All right. Let's go to 2 Corinthians chapter 11. Second Corinthians chapter 11, and let's start that at verse 7.
Have I committed an offense in abasing myself that you might be exalted?
Wait a minute. Have I committed an offense in abasing myself that you might be exalted? Go ahead.
Because I have preached to you the gospel of Elohim freely. I robbed other churches, taking wages of them to do you service. And when I was present with you and wanted, I was chargeable to no man. For that which was lacking to me, the brethren which came from Macedonia supplied. And in all things I have kept myself from being burdensome unto you, and so will I keep myself.
Now, why does he even have to go into this? Why is this even a thing? Because he's supposed to be fed of the gospel. Go ahead.
As the truth of Yahshua is in me, no man shall stop me of this boasting in the regions of Achaia. Wherefore? Because I love you not, Elohim knows, but what I do, that I will do, that I may cut off occasion from them which desire occasion, that wherein they glory, they may be found even as we.
Wait a minute. So then there are those that seek occasion. They are looking for a reason to make you chargeable for something. Go ahead.
For such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of the Mashiach. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. Therefore it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their works. I say again, let no man think me a fool. If otherwise, yet as a fool receive me, that I may boast myself a little. That which I speak it not after the Adonai, but as it were foolishly, in this confidence of boasting. Seeing that many glory after the flesh, I will glory also. For you suffer fools gladly, seeing you yourselves are wise. For you suffer, if a man bring you into bondage, if a man devour you, if a man take of you, if a man exalt himself, if a man smite you on the face. I speak as concerning reproach, as though we had been weak. Howbeit, wheresoever any is bold, I speak foolishly. I am bold also. Are they Hebrews? So am I. Are they Israelites? So am I. Are they the seed of Abraham? So am I.
Why you got to go into this? Because you always going to have to deal with Jake. Go ahead.
Are they ministers of Yahshua? I speak as a fool. I am more. In labors more abundant, in stripes above measure, in prisons more frequent, in deaths oft. Of the Yehudis 5 times received I 40 stripes, save one. 3 times was I beaten with rods. Once was I stoned. 3 times I suffered shipwreck. A night and a day I have been in the deep. In journeyings often, in perils of waters, in perils of robbers, in perils by mine own countrymen, in perils by the heathen, in perils in the city, in perils in the wilderness, in perils in the sea, in perils among false brethren.
All right, so then understanding all of that, there may be some things that he might have to do to say, all right, I need to cut down on something, lest I multiply my perils. See, this may cause me some issues. When you look at all of the great revelations that Yahweh had given unto Saul, he also gave him a thorn. And he wouldn't take away the thorn. And he found out he had so many great things and ability. The thorn was to make sure he didn't get beside himself. Okay. So there's a sacrifice that we can read here and we don't even know what it was. Because Yahweh didn't say what the thorn was. Saul didn't say what the thorn was. Okay. Go ahead.
In weariness and painfulness, in watchings often, in hunger and thirst, in fastings often, in cold and nakedness. Beside those things that are without, that which comes upon me daily, the care of all the churches.
Wait a minute. All that he still got to deal with the churches. He still got to deal with his job, even with all of these other issues. Go ahead.
Who is weak? And am I not weak?
Uh-huh.
Who is offended? And I burn not?
Wait a minute. Somebody, he said, what, you don't think I have to go through this? You think just because I didn't mope when I walked in that I didn't have hell this week? Because I didn't walk in, Shabbat Shalom. You don't think that I might have to have me a mental health check day? Okay. Go ahead, bro.
If I must needs glory, I'll glory of the things which concern mine infirmities.
Uh-huh.
The Elohim and Father of our Adonai Yahshua HaMashiach, which is blessed forevermore, knows that I lie not. In Damascus, the governor under Aretas, the king kept the city of the Damascenes with a garrison, desirous to apprehend me. And through a window in a basket was I let down by the wall, and escaped his hands.
All right. Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 9. 1 Corinthians chapter 9 and started at verse 9.
For it is written in the law of Moshe, you shall not muzzle the mouth of the ox that treads out the corn. Does Elohim take care for oxen? Or says he it altogether for our sakes? For our sakes, no doubt, this is written, that he that plows should plow in hope, and that he that thresheth in hope should be partaker of his hope. If we have sown unto you spiritual things, is it a great thing if we shall reap your carnal things? If others be partakers of this power over you, are not we rather? Nevertheless, we have not used this power, but suffer all things, lest we should hinder the gospel of Yahshua.
Now, he has this ability, but it is a possibility that if he uses it, it may hinder the gospel. Why? Because of other people's weakness, not his. A whole nother now sacrifice is being made that is not even being counted. Because 9 times out of 10, people don't even see that. Go ahead.
Do you not know that they which minister about holy things live of the things of the temple, and they which wait at the altar are partakers with the altar? Even so has the Adonai ordained that they which preach the gospel should live of the gospel. But I have used none of these things, neither have I written these things, that it should be so done unto me. For it were better for me to die, that any man should make my glorying void.
Right. That you may use some who seek occasion, may use that and then make my glorying void and all the trials and tribulations that he's saying that he has gone through. So they'll take something else and use that to diminish it. He said, no. I sacrifice what I have the ability to do so that won't happen. Go ahead.
For though I preach the gospel, I have nothing to glory of, for necessity is laid upon me. Yea, woe is unto me, if I preach not the gospel. For if I do this thing willingly, I have a reward. But if against my will, a dispensation of the gospel is committed unto me. What is my reward then? Verily that, when I preach the gospel, I may make the gospel of Yahshua without charge, that I abuse not my power in the gospel.
Right. How many years worth of teaching we got on YouTube? Okay. Go ahead.
For though I be free from all men, yet have I made myself servant unto all, that I might gain the more.
Wait a minute. That's the same thing Yahshua said. Then now he's following the path that was laid out. Okay. Now it makes sense. Let us hear the conclusion of this matter. Let's go to Psalm 73. Psalm chapter 73, and we're going to start that at verse 1.
Psalm 73 and verse 1. Truly Elohim is good to Israel, even to such as are of a clean heart. But as for me, my feet were almost gone. My steps had well near slipped. For I was envious at the foolish.
Now hold on. Truly Elohim is good to Israel, even to such as are of a clean heart. Now, you might think that, just so you understand, next sentence. But as for me. See, some people are like, I bless thee, Elohim, that I'm not like other men are. For thou art righteous. Wait a minute. Whoa. Well, he lets you know there are people who are of a clean heart. And then they're me. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
For I was envious at the foolish.
And ain't we always? We see stupid and wonder why we can't do it. My God, that was so ignorant. Man, that was ignorant. Man, I hope I can do it tomorrow. God, I know. Go ahead.
When I saw the prosperity of the wicked, for there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. They're not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men.
Now, see, when you got those cards, you don't worry. Something happened, you know what I'm saying? You just go and, you know what I'm saying, pull out another card and just swipe that thing. That take care of the problem. Now, see, before I knew what those things were really for, I ran those things up. And then I couldn't use any of those things for years. Yahweh didn't give them back until it was time. All right, now, you're gonna need these cards now, because I'm about to get you to do some stuff, and you ain't gonna have all the money to be able to do that stuff, but I'm gonna need you to do that stuff. So all of a sudden, I'm just getting cards, and then it becomes a game. I want to see how high they gonna take the doggone limit. I'm laughing. I'm getting card after card after card, and I keep playing the game, increasing the limit. Boom. Then the situation comes. Oh yeah, one thing. You know how many thousands of dollars it was to cut them damn trees? Okay, now them damn cards made sense. Now the damn cards made sense. What, we got about like 19 trees cut down there? Okay. All right. Now I understood what them damn cars were. No, I'm going to need you to do some stuff, but you're not going to be able to afford to do this stuff. You understand? But I'm going to need you to do this stuff. Now, we didn't have no opportunity to not take that deal. The people were cutting the trees next door. See, y'all would be working on it. So they said, look here, man, we'll cut these trees. I said, nah, bro, I ain't got that kind of money. I ain't got that kind of, y'all go ahead on. He came back next day. Look here, man, we already out here. I mean, we practically in your yard. You understand? We in your property. That's our truck right there. Look at it. There it is. How about we give you a deal? No, man, I can't do that. Well, how about this? No, man, I can't do that. I tell you what, we'll get all of them for this right here. I said, hold on, let me call somebody. Hold on, let me call somebody. Let me get finance on the phone. I need to finance. Let me holler at you. Okay, all right. Go ahead, bro.
They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Therefore pride compassed them about as a chain. Violence covers them as a garment. Their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than heart could wish. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. They set their mouth against the heavens, and their tongue walks through the earth. Therefore his people return hither, and waters of a full cup are wrung out to them. And they say, how does Elohim know? And is there knowledge in the Most High? Behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world. They increase in riches. Verily, I have cleansed my heart in vain and washed my hands in innocency. For all the day long have I been plagued and chastened every morning. If I say, I'll speak thus, behold, I should offend against the generation of your children.
Oh, because you know, hey, once we get in that woe is me, we'll throw out everything. Why am I even here? Oh, yeah. We get in that woe is me. You know, we done tried to find where Job lives so we can move in next door. Woe is me, Job, I feel you. Job, like, somebody already live here. You can't move. you can't move in there. Go ahead.
When I thought to know this, it was too painful for me. Until I went into the sanctuary of Elohim.
Okay.
Then understood I therein.
Okay, hold on. It was too painful for me. But then I went into the sanctuary. See, our problem is it's painful, but we didn't go into the sanctuary. So then we still walking around carrying the pain. Go ahead.
Surely you did set them in slippery places. You casted them down into destruction. How were they brought into desolation? As in a moment, they are utterly consumed with terrors. As a dream when one awakes, so, O Adonai, when you awaketh, you shall despise their image. Thus my heart was grieved, and I was pricked in my reins. So foolish was I, and ignorant. I was as a beast before you. Nevertheless,
Will we admit that? See, some folks say, I really didn't need much. I already had it all together. Wait a minute. He started off saying, truly Elohim is good to Israel, even to such as are of a clean heart. But as for me, okay, wait a minute. That's part of the real 12-step program right there. But as for me, he just took step number 1. Some folk can't figure out why they can't get better because they ain't took step number 1. But as for me. Okay. Go ahead.
Nevertheless, I am continually with you. You have holden me by my right hand. You shall guide me with your counsel, and afterward receive me to glory. Whom have I in heaven but you? And there is none upon earth that I desire beside you. My flesh and my heart fails, but Elohim is the strength of my heart and my portion forever. For lo,
So no matter what they take away from me, if I got Yahweh, I can get it all again. It don't matter what I lose. If I lose it because I'm doing right for my Elohim, I have faith that he going to take care of that business. Now, if I lose it because I was out with them, now I'm going to have to deal with that differently now. Go ahead.
for lo, they that are far from you shall perish. You have destroyed all them that go a whoring from you.
Uh-huh.
But it is good for me to draw near to Elohim. I have put my trust in the Adonai Elohim, that I may declare all your works.
I have put my trust in the Adonai Elohim, that I may declare all your works. So there are some things that we may not be able to just receive openly here, but Yahweh has an amazing accounting program. He's taking care of that business. And he knows what sacrifices are being made, even if nobody else knows. That's all that we're going to do for today. Remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.